This is one of the most watched videos on the Formula One YouTube channel. Humans are fascinated by catastrophes. There even is a word for people staring at accidents: rubbernecking. Formula One's own YouTube channel is the proof. The majority of the most watched videos feature high-speed collisions. Explosions and crumpled metal are on the thumbnails to make you click. Forget the Netflix effect and Drive to Survive. Nothing draws people as much into F1 as a dramatic crash. And F1 is well aware of this. There are more crashes today than ever before, despite years of innovation. Coincidence? Or perhaps those high up in Formula One want to push the best performing social media content? We'll look into this, break down Formula One's dangerous strategy and how much a crash actually costs. Welcome to Athletic Interest and the economics of crashing. 38 people have died as a result of an accident in Formula One. Most of them in the 50s and 60s. In the first years, you didn't even need a helmet. Early drivers preferred cloth caps and goggles. Seatbelts weren't required until 72. Fire-resistant suits only appeared 3 years later. Niki Lauda is famous for saying that he accepted a 20% risk of death every time he drove a Formula One car. Sounds like an overstatement, but a recent report crunched the numbers and concluded that driving every F1 race from 1970 to 76 did come with a 20% chance of death. Do the same in the 60s, and that chance increases to 50%. Safety was a low priority in early Formula One. Death was accepted. It wasn't until the 1st of May 1994 at 2:17 p.m. that the sport finally changed. Ayrton Senna was leading the San Marino Grand Prix when he left the track and crashed into the concrete barrier. His right wheel struck him in the head and a piece of suspension penetrated his helmet. Motorsport had lost its biggest icon. Several drivers teamed up to pressure F1's governing body to improve safety standards, so they introduced sweeping rule changes. This included improving the safety barriers that lined the track. Today, most barriers are known as Tech Pro. This is a layered system of plastic and foam which absorbs the impact of a crash. Some tracks were even redesigned to make them safer, like the very corner where Ayrton Senna crashed. Then there is the neck rest, a padding that goes around the driver's neck to absorb the G-force. This was introduced in '96 and is said to have saved the life of Jos Verstappen at the Belgian Grand Prix. Less than a year after this crash, Max Verstappen was born. No neck rest, no Max Verstappen. In 2015, Gilles Bianchi died after a collision during the Japan Grand Prix. F1 had learned its lesson. The virtual safety car and the Halo, a device that protects the driver's head, were introduced. The Halo has been credited with saving multiple lives, including Lewis Hamilton's at the 2021 Italian Grand Prix. Formula One is now one of the safest motorsports on the planet, but crashing is still a big part of it. This is a recent advert for F1 TV. It tries to sell three things: the atmosphere, the technology, the drama. And for drama, they show spectacular crashes. There is only one overtake in the advert, but there are 4 crashes, including a massive fireball. We are not trying to suggest that F1 is promoting crashes, or that it wants more crashes during a race. That being said, F1 bosses did once consider adding sprinklers to some tracks to make the surface slippery and the racing unpredictable. Whenever it wants to add excitement, F1 always seems to come back to crashing. It's probably also a coincidence that the number of crashes per race has increased over time. 2014 saw almost double the average number of accidents compared to 1950. But in the past, 59% of accidents happened because of mechanical failure. Today, 69% of accidents are caused by driver error. As car safety improved, drivers became more confident about taking risks. Add bigger, faster cars, and the rise in accidents starts to make sense. The F1 marketing team may appreciate this, but the accountants certainly don't. In 2023, the F1 drivers collectively caused around $40 million in crash damage. Williams driver Logan Sargent contributed more than 10% of this total. His crash during the qualifying of the Japanese Grand Prix broke the suspension and the front and rear wings. These each cost around $150,000 to replace. That's a relatively cheap crash. Break the gearbox or the engine, and the bill can hit several million. The total crash bill for Williams in 2023 was around $7 million. Money that could have been used to develop the car for 2024 or hire 120 new mechanics. The rising cost of crashing is damaging for every team in F1. For the 2024 season, each team has a cost cap of $135 million. This covers everything, from staff salaries to most of the mechanical pieces of the car. Every crash will now have a bigger impact on overall finances. And it gets worse. Formula One is adding more races to the calendar, and several of the new tracks are street circuits. Big cars and tight city streets don't mix. Monaco averages the most crashes per race, while recording the least number of overtakes. In Las Vegas, a loose drain cover damaged the underneath of Carlos Sainz's Ferrari. Formula One is adding a Madrid street race and is reportedly in talks for a Chicago race in the future. These races will have more crashes. Costs will increase. Expect teams to start complaining. F1's relationship with crashing is complicated. Safety is a priority, but crashing is a proven way to increase your audience. Grosjean is the perfect example. He only survived because of the safety improvements. And yet, his crash is one of the most viewed F1 moments in history. The budget cap will only make crashes less sustainable. But is there an alternative? What if Formula One became a virtual series? The best drivers competing on simulators. Most of the drivers already train on simulators anyway. There could even be more crashes and artificial weather conditions. All of this in complete safety, less travel, and no expensive repair bills. But who wants to watch a car race without the risk of a real crash?